Dr. Pojman, you're very familiar with the procedures. If you would, state your name, whom you represent, and you have 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. My name is Dr. Joe Pojman. I'm Executive Director of Texas Alliance for Life, and I'm speaking for that organization in support of Senate Bill 9, the Human Life Protection Act. SB9 is a complete ban on abortion beginning at fertilization that will go into effect when and to the extent the Supreme Court reverses or modifies Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey. We cannot thank Senator Paxton enough for authoring this momentous bill. The Supreme Court's terrible precedent in 1973 Roe v. Wade and 1992 Planned Parenthood v. Casey decisions ties the hands of the legislature. It prevents you from banning abortion or imposing any abortion regulation that creates a substantial obstacle to a woman's effective right to elect the procedure before the viability of an unborn child. And of course, viability is, in the eyes of the Supreme Court, when the child can live if born alive. We saw what the Supreme Court did in the Hellerstedt case when the court decided some of the HB2 safety regulations imposed a substantial obstacle to abortion. The result was an unenforceable law and a court order for Texas to pay more than $2 million in court costs and attorney's fees. However, in a matter of months, the Supreme Court may change that terrible precedent. We are hopeful, but not certain, that the court, now with 3 new appointees, may be willing to take a fresh look at Roe and Casey, unencumbered by precedent, and give you legislators more latitude to protect unborn children before viability. According to Americans United for Life, there are as many as 60 cases involving abortion bans and regulations in the pipeline. The court could take up any of these as a vehicle to revisit Roe and Casey. One of those cases, Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, involves a Mississippi law banning abortions beginning at 15 weeks, a clear violation of the Roe and Casey precedent. If the court changes this precedent and allows states to protect non-viable unborn babies, Texas needs to be ready with a new law to ban abortion to the extent allowable under the new precedent. SB 9 is that new law. Under SB 9, any person who performs an abortion, except to save the mother's life, commits a first-degree felony. Any woman on whom an abortion is performed or attempted may not be prosecuted. If the Supreme Court does change the precedent, SB 9 would afford the same protection to unborn babies in Texas. For example, if the court upholds Mississippi's 15-week bans, that would be the law in Texas. If the court upholds a heartbeat law, our law automatically bans abortions to that extent. Or a ban on abortions for discrimination reasons. That would be the law, if the court upholds that, that would be the law in Texas. Or if the court completely allows a complete ban on abortion, our law would ban abortion beginning at fertilization. And those bans will be a first-degree felony offense, exactly what an abortion doctor deserves. We need to protect unborn babies beginning at fertilization. Science recognizes that an unborn child is a human being just like each of us. The life of an individual human being begins at fertilization and continues to develop through each of the 40 weeks of pregnancy, through birth, infancy, adolescence, and adulthood. We all came into being at fertilization. This is an established biological fact. When people say, listen to the scientists, my organization agrees 100%. Our statute and rules in Texas recognizes that life exists in the womb and begins at fertilization. We have numerous provisions that reflect that. Perhaps the most striking is the Penal Code, which defines an individual as a human being that is alive, including an unborn child at every stage of gestation from fertilization to birth. And relying on that, Chapter 19 recognizes homicide of an unborn child. And this has been in the law since 2003, and I want to thank some of the senators on this committee who voted for that. Senator Nelson, Senator Lucio, Senator Zaffrey, and of course, Chairman Hughes. We cannot thank all of you enough. Banning elective abortion beginning at fertilization, SB 9 is a natural extension. One more point. In 2019, there were about 57,000 reported abortions in Texas. It is estimated at least 10% of those abortions, 6,000 or more, were performed before 6 or 7 weeks of gestation, before the unborn baby's heartbeat can be detected. Do we have an obligation to protect unborn children even very early in pregnancy? Yes. Texas does have that obligation. Senate Bill 9 will do just that, and we urge you to support that. Thank you.
Members, questions for Dr. Pojman? Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Pojman. Thank you, sir.